Okay, today let's talk about mulch. And I think sometimes we overthink it because a lot of times just work with what you have. And typically what I like to use as kind of a base for whatever my recipe is this Happy Grow Landscaper Mix. I get it at Lowe's. I know sometimes you guys can find it and sometimes you can't. It is basically a fine pine. I've showed you this a million times. I want to say it's about $4 a bag. It's really inexpensive, and that's for 2 cubic feet. Now, it looks great just like this, but typically so that I can make it go farther with something that I already have. In the spring, I added gravel to it, about a 50-50 blend, but now I've got lots of leaves. Now, I had to import some leaves from Kayla because I don't have enough of my own.
That is so crazy.
And so after they mowed in the neighborhood, then she brought me a bunch of leaves, some of which I am going to mulch in my Works mulcher. I've showed you, remember this, Stuart? We've shown this in the past. Okay, but some of them, like these, this is a mixture of, it looks like some baby elm leaves, maybe some live oak leaves, but look at how fine these are. And these, gosh, this would even be pretty as a mulch for some potted plants or something. So these I don't even have to shred because these leaves are so tiny. And all I'm doing is just mixing it up. Oh, somebody mowed up a cigarette butt. I don't think I want that in my mulch. Okay, you never know what you're going to find. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit more. And this, you guys, this stuff is free, you know? This is free. I wouldn't be surprised if I found some Halloween candy wrappers in here because this is stuff that's just recently been mowed. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm really trying to, even though I put down mulch one time before, there has been so much foot traffic, there's been so much stuff planted, there has been wind, there has just been garden living taking place, and a lot of it has moved around and needs to be replenished. Plus, I want to make sure that I am really insulating some of these plants that might be on the margin in terms of being tender and making it or not through the winter. But you can see here, I've got some drip line around this Annabelle hydrangea. And I want to cover up. I'm going to add a little bit more of this stuff to it. Boy, this is pretty. So yeah, all leaves are not equal. And if you're like me and you see guys out mowing in the neighborhood, you don't have your own leaves or you don't have your own leaves bagged, then just beg them for some.
You may not even have to beg that hard.
Yeah, you won't even have to beg that hard. So I can come in here and all around these hydrangeas. This oak leaf hydrangea. Stuart, you were commenting before that this was over probably 35 years old. I've moved this to a couple of houses and it doesn't look so great now, but boy, it will once it gets established. Oh, we've just discovered another cigarette butt. Okay.
You're gardening and cleaning up the world.
Yes, I am gardening and delittering simultaneously. And see how beautifully it goes down? And I like the fact that this is it's just all free. Now, could I use just the leaves? Yes, I could. But in some areas where I am mulching, I am also going to come back in and I'm going to broadcast some seed of some things that will germinate and come up in the spring. But right now, see how nice that looks? And I'm covering up all of that drip irrigation. You no longer see it. And this will break down over time and improve the quality of the soil. in addition to just really kind of tucking these in for the winter.
Kind of satisfying to cover it.
Isn't it satisfying? It's very satisfying to cover it. And being satisfied is a good thing. It's a good thing. So that is one type of mulch that I am using. And I'll probably use most of this for the backyard. So again, don't overthink it. There's no one perfect way to do it. I just kind of eyeball it. This is all organic matter, and it'll be just fine. So Stuart, let's take a break here, and we'll be right back. Well, what I am reading this week is twofold. It is fall, so it's time for poetry reading by the fire. I'm a big Wendell Berry fan, and I'm reading A Small Porch. This is just, these are classic, beautifully written poems, and it really immerses you in nature. They're paperback. This would be a great stocking stuffer idea if you are someone that likes poetry or knows someone who does. My son Johnny loves poetry. Leah loves poetry. So this is what I am reading, A Small Porch. And also this is a book that I have put off purchasing for a while. I actually, before I add something to my library, particularly a kind of a coffee table book like this, I visit it. I visit it for a while at my local bookstore, and I go back and I look at it and I look at it again, and then I determine if I want it to be part of my collection. So it has to be, it has to make the cut. So I do visit it before I commit myself. So this is a beautiful book called The Joy of Home by Ashley Gilbreth. It's also beautifully written, I think, what little I have read, but I like it because I am drawn to books now that have a similar, kind of a similar aesthetic to mine, and sometimes also similar spaces to the ones that I have that give me ideas that I can reference, like there's a sideboard, over and over again for decor ideas, because I just change up my decor all the time. I think you guys probably too. So there are the two books that I am reading, The Joy of Home and A Small Porch. And when we come back, I'll share with you what I'm thinking about this week. Okay, I just told Stuart that I hate it when this happens. How many times are you guys working outside, you're digging something, you're fluffing something, whatever, and you're standing close by, and then half of whatever it is that you've got in your hands like this goes into your boot or goes in off of the shovel and into your boot. I hate it when that happens. That's my question of the day. Does that ever happen to you? Okay, so this is another batch, and I'm going to reserve this for the backyard, because I think in the backyard this is primarily the mulch that I'm going to use. And after we finish up out here, we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you how the garden journal can help you with all of these garden chores and these garden tasks, and also kind of garden assessment of how much of what you need. So I've reserved these smaller leaves now for the backyard, and I can complete that later. For the front yard, the rest of the leaves that I have are a whole different variety of large leaves. Some of them are, gosh, I've got a composite in here of sycamore, of magnolia, of oak leaves, of maple leaves, just all sorts of things. And these need to be shredded. They've already been somewhat shredded because they were mowed up and probably raked up, maybe some of them blown, but they need to be shredded more. So what I've got going here is I've pulled out my handy dandy Works leaf shredder that I absolutely love, love, love. Talk about turning trash into treasure. This will help me do just that. Now, it's important before you do this that you wear safety gloves, or at a minimum sunglasses or something, because sometimes things will fly out. So Stuart, you might want to stand back, and I will too. Now, I have to also point out that I've got, this is just a trash bag, a 36-gallon trash bag that I've gotten, and I try to reuse them whenever possible. So I've got this in here, and I am just, it's just kind of like a blender. You want to remove any really large sticks or things first. The best stuff I have found to use is when they mow the lawn or you mow your lawn and you've got kind of a combo of the leaf litter on top for the carbon, and then you're also cutting your grass and you've got the nitrogen from your grass clippings, and that is really, really good stuff for your garden. So all I have to do, I've got it plugged in, I've got it set up, and then I just pull this out. So you'll notice that I never looked at it. Stuart was covering his face and his eyes while he was doing it, so we are being safe around here. And it's just so satisfying. It just will turn that into really, really good shredded leaf matter. I've got more to do. Let me show you here.
Grade A stuff right
That's
there.
grade A stuff right there, isn't it? So then at this point, I could put that in the wheelbarrow and I could mix it with some more of that pine bark mulch. If I had, more of a country type of garden, I wouldn't worry about mixing it with any kind of pretty mulch. I would just use this as the mulch itself. I will also reserve some of it and put it in my compost bin. And if I don't use all of this leaf matter, then I will save some of it to use next spring, because it also makes a great soil amendment when you are trying to improve the quality of your soil when you're planting shrubs and things. So there you go, my favorite toy for fall. And yes, probably some safety glasses are in order, but you may have noticed I never looked at it. So it's just a great thing, and trash into treasure. Love it. Well, welcome to the no dump zone on my kitchen island, where I am working right now, recording some things in my new garden journal that I am just so happy to tell you will be available November 14th. You can pre-order it still on Amazon, and you can get a copy of it, but also look for it in your local bookstores. And I am just thrilled with it. And I got an advanced copy, so I've already started using mine. And I want to give you guys, and I'll be sharing different ways that I personally use mine, specifically today as it regards mulch and as it regards different ideas that I want to chronicle for next year and not forget. Now, in addition to the fact that you can come in here on a daily basis and write what you're doing in the garden on that specific day. So today is, what is the date today? November 5th, 6th? What is it? So,
one of those two.
Okay, one of those two. So,
6th.
No, okay, and the lucky answer was November 6th. So I can come in here and I can record information that is relevant to me. So obviously the date, the high, the low, whether we got any rainfall, and basically just some kind of cryptic notes today in the garden, just observations. I'm not really waxing poetic here, but I'm just making observations as to the weather and what I did when in the garden. So today I am mulching, I am shredding some leaves, and I will record that So the year is 2023. And then next year, when I record it, I can compare 2024 to 2023. So, i.e., the brilliance of a 5-year journal. So today in the garden, I am going to put shredded leaves for mulch. Okay, so I'm putting that in there, and I have a ribbon. I found that even though it gives me a ribbon where I can mark the date, I wanted additional ribbons for, just for the categories of things that I'm working on. So I can record that this is the date that I am mulching. Dates that are particularly important to me are things like, okay, last year, when did I plant my tulips? Or last year, when did I see the first tulip in bloom? Or this year, the fact that, oh my goodness, my neighbor across the street still had iris blooming in her yard on November 6th. So I can record those kinds of things. And then year to year, it helps me gauge how conditions have changed over time. So in another section called Garden Layout and Design, this is one section. And by the way, there is at the beginning, there is a table of contents that will show you. You can show when you began your journal on and who the journal belongs to. But in the table of contents, I can come back in here and rapidly go to any particular page that I am wanting to access. So in here today, I am going to my page Garden Layout and Design on page 16, because I am going to document with photographs some inspiration pictures. Now, this is the inspiration picture I have showed you many, many times before, the inspiration picture for the backyard. And it is helpful for me to have this in a micro form without having the big tear sheet and things, where I can just readily pick up my journal and I can look at it to see if the execution of my design is matching my inspiration photo. Now, something else that I want to make sure that I repeat next year is the Akita dahlias that I think I showed you when I dug them up. We can put a link to that. I dug them up. I am storing the tubers in the basement, and I not only loved the tubers and I loved that variety, which I want to document, but I loved their placement by the Sunshine Ligustrum, because it was just a really beautiful beautiful pairing. Now before I take this adhesive off, let me show you what I did. I identified the photo in my phone that I wanted to use, that I wanted to print out. And in this case, it was this image right there, because it tells me that that's the pairing that I want to replicate next year. So using my little Ivy Canon printer, which I adore, for a while I had been using Hubs in white, and I got my own pink version, and I got a cute little pink carrying case so I can take it with me if I like, and I can print out these miniature little pictures. Now, these images they're for reference only. They're not really beautiful images, but they tell me what I want to know. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, if I can do it, I'll be camera shy and won't be able to get my,
easy.
I know, to get my,
It's so
well,
easy.
it's also not easy because I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, these things are meant to be difficult.
Yeah, they are meant to be difficult. The other one was really easy.
That happens.
Okay, I can see just a little bit of a corner there. Can I do it? Can I do
it?
I don't know. I know we may have to take a break there.
No, we can do it.
And,
We got this.
and three,
Come on,
and
we got
3
this.
days later.
We got it. Everybody's cheering for you at home.
Everybody's cheering for me. And okay, here's the question of the day. If you guys know a quick trick
yes.
to remove adhesive,
We need to know, obviously.
we need to know. And they would say, Linda, put on your glasses.
There we go. Hey, there you go.
Okay, so there we go. So I've got it here. I'm going to put it, and I'm not notice that I'm not putting it on the date. I am putting this in my garden layout and design. Now, something that I am going to do for reference is, if I want to go back and see truly how beautiful that image was. I'm going to record the date, October 27th.
How handy is that grid?
I know, isn't it great? October 27th, 2023. So then that tells me if I want to go back and look at the original picture, that's just what I have to search for in my iPhotos. And then I am also going to document that this is Akita Dahlia.
I almost need one of these just for my life.
For your life. I mean, isn't it great? Isn't it great? So I'm going to also put the particulars there. I am going to make some notations. I'm going to put plant tubers earlier.
It's almost like non-social social media.
And pair with sunshine. So I will remember to put them in the same place next time, that's a pairing. And if anybody asks me, oh, what would look good in their garden or whatever, then that will immediately come to mind for me. Now, some of you were saying that you live just a little bit further south than me, like in the Lawton area, and that where you live, you can leave the tubers in the ground all year, and there might be microclimates within my overall garden where I could do that. But historically, I have found that it gets too cold here. -18 is just a little too cold. So I need to dig them up and store them. But here, I've got this information. I have recorded it. I can just reference this when I go back in the spring to see, oh, what great ideas did I have then? And I can document it. Now, something else that I can document in here is my tool inventory. And this is where I would put things like my Works shredder, leaf shredder, where the brand is, how I used it, any kind of notations like make sure to remove large branches or sticks first, things like that. And then I can also go back in here under weights and measures, and it will tell me how much mulch to use based on the depth that I want to achieve and the square footage. So that metric has already been determined for you. All you have to do is just put it in reference to your own garden spaces. So that's just 3 ways that I'm using my own garden journal right now, and we will definitely put a link to this. Once they are available, we'll be giving one away on Linda Vodder Live. You can also find this and all other books that I recommend in the LV book list on Amazon. So there you go. Very, very exciting for me to share with you how I use my own garden journal.
It's been a long time coming.
So earlier I took a little bit of video of Javier and Galen installing these posts.
That's hard to do at this age.
Okay, you guys, you're being videoed now, so quit having so much fun.
So you can see, Linda, they've got 2 lines put in. That's
Okay.
what's going to keep our enclosure straight.
Okay, well let's start out by maybe via an introduction of what it is we're doing.
Oh, sorry.
So we're building the surround for the air conditioner.
That is correct.
So I've got Galen and Kayla and Javier. Say hello. The dream team are back and building the surround. So pardon my interruption. Kayla, go ahead.
So what they've done is they've measured out away from the AC this direction to make sure we've got about a 12-inch clearance.
Right.
Right. Because we've got to have proper ventilation, or else we're going to cause your air conditioner to fail prematurely.
Yeah.
So they've done that using the yellow line and stakes, and now they're going to dig, or they are digging, the corner post, which is the most important one to get 100% square, plumb, level
Stability.
Yes, and then the other 2 will be dug based on the corner hole location.
And you are using, I think you explained it before, but you're explaining it again. You are using treated wood posts.
Yes, we're going to use 4x4 treated. So it has a chemical on it that will keep it from rotting prematurely. and it is made for ground contact, so it can handle the rain better than if we just use a straight pond.
And this is a strategy that you've done before for many people that we've worked with.
Yes.
And it works great. And then talk about the next step after this.
Yep, after we get posts set in concrete today, then we're going to let the concrete cure.
Okay.
We'll come back on Wednesday, and we're going to take measurements between our posts, wide, height, and somewhere out here in your garage or in the alleyway, we're going to custom build your screens.
Okay.
That will look like the top of the fence.
Very good.
Then those screens will be removed, taken either to my barn or to the shop, where we will paint it to match. To match the color gray, the cottage gray that is everything else here. Yep. And then we'll bring them back after the paint has had time to dry and harden, and install your enclosure. And that will, gosh, and a couple of other small details you're going to take care of for me. The top of the gate. Yes. You're going to finish that out. And then also, let's walk over here if we can, Kayla, without tripping on anything. I am not the expert like Stuart. But I have a clean garage. Kayla squealed when she saw it. I did. I have a clean garage. So here we discovered a treasure, and that is the juncture piece that actually we used at the other house. And so we'll be able to just use that section so that we can hook up the rain barrel, and then this area will kind of be complete, and it will especially look complete when the things surrounding it grow up and soften. But that's going to be great. So then what else are we going to do? What other new project? We're going to get your light put up. We're going to get the light put up. And I need to find that light, because when I cleaned out the garage, I couldn't find it. You do. Okay, I didn't give it to you. I'm going to have to look. We're also going to build the pad underneath your composter. Yes, we're going to use these 12 by 12 inch concrete stepping stones. Concrete, pavers underneath there. And then the other thing that you're going to do for me, what would I do without Kayla, Wonder Woman extraordinaire, is she is going to build me a wood tabletop for the glass table, because I just want it to, I want it to coordinate a little bit more with the table that's over here that we're using kind of as a groaning board, or a sideboard for when we entertain out here. And she is going, what kind of wood do you anticipate using? Yeah, if I can get it fairly cheap, I want to do it out of redwood. Okay. Just because it's a smoother surface than cedar. Mm-hmm. So there's less sanding that I'm going to have to do, so we don't catch clothes on the rough edges. Right. So ideally, I want to use redwood. If I can't use redwood, then I will, at that point, try to find some teak wood locally. With us wanting to try to get this done fairly quick, I may not have time to order it. Yeah. So, well, and you're going to do this in slabs that then you will assemble. So it's not going to be one solid piece. Correct. But that will be all right, because the table over here, that is how it's constructed. That's how it's put together. Yep. So it will mimic kind of the appearance of this. Similar. So it'll be very similar, and we're going to match the stain as great as we can. Now you may ask, okay, Linda, why don't you just order another one of these tables? Well, it's because I love this table. It has a different base to it, and the base matches all of the furniture. And I want it to continue to match, and I just like the way it looks, and I like to reuse what I've got. So that's why I'm not just ordering another table. But I think once it's all done,
I think it'll look great. And, you know, even if I can't, I think I've told you ad nauseum that I want to have Thanksgiving out here, Kayla. But if I can't, then nevertheless, if it's a beautiful day or whatever, even if it's chilly, we can sit out here and enjoy it. And I kind of want it to be semi-complete by then.
And even if it's just so cold you can't be out here.
Yeah, it'll look beautiful.
You'll be in the house
Right.
looking out
Right.
at a finished product.
Yes, I agree. Okay, very good. You're the best, as always. I can't tell you how indispensable Kayla has been. And I wouldn't have been able, obviously, to do any of this without her and Galen and Javier and the entire Cityscapes crew. Thanks, gal.
Thank you.
The concrete isn't set yet. It is hardening up right now. And once it is, they will then come back and they will put the panels in place. I think they're going to do that on Wednesday. And once the panels are in place, they will build them here in situ so they know exactly the height and the scale. Then they will take the panels back to Kayla's shop and they will paint them there and then bring them back and install them. And I think it's going to be really nice because it will finally hide not only the air conditioner, but all of this, all of the stuff that's behind it too, even though I've kind of cleaned that up. So I think that'll be nice. And then I'm going to surround it just around the base with lots of this beautiful, now in bloom, soft caress, soft caress mahonia. So this will all look very, very finished. It will have a very finished appearance and it won't look as if this is kind of just an industrial zone over in the corner of the property. So I think it's going to be good and we will give you guys an update on that as progress continues. Well, the calendar page has turned. It is now November. October went by just like that. I can't believe it. So that means two different things. It means, number one, we have a new color of the month, which is
burgundy,
brick red, kind of all of these shades of however you would like to describe it. Merlot, I love that. Yeah, kind of a deep cardinal. Yeah. I mean, you could call it a number of different things, but let's just say it's the gradation of all of those hues because we can't make a commitment to just any one space on that color spectrum. Okay, but it also means it's time for my smile present of the month. Last month, I just gave away those little Halloween towels or napkins, whatever you called them. And what is a smile present? A smile present is just something, it's a little something to make a person smile. If I go over to their house, if I haven't seen them in a while, or even if I have seen them in a while, if somebody comes by or whatever, it's just a little grace note.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, to make them feel warm and fuzzy, a little bit of hug in their life. Okay, so take it away. Leah, what do we have?
This smile present I think is perfect for right now because a lot of people are getting sick also. We were just talking about people getting colds, and this one is so good for that too. So we have our cute little bags, which are filled with this little travel pack of Manukora honey. Which, by the way, we are obsessed with. Yes, we love it.
We are obsessed with. I have been eating it by the spoonfuls. Yes. I've made the overnight oats with it.
I was wondering if you made them.
And we need to make those again. We'll do that for you guys. But it is like eating just melted caramel.
Know,
it's so delicious.
And
so
these come in 10 packs too, so they were perfect for the smile gift because you just get 10
I think
of
we
them
have a special code, so we'll put that up.
Yeah, and then it has some hot tea and these cute little wooden spoons that come in different colors.
Those are cool.
I'm just obsessed with those. I think they're so cute.
Yes, and then we put these little turkey towels, folded one up and put it in there.
Yeah. So here is what you will get. You know, let's say you're just out and about or whatever. Then then you have some honey. You have just a little cute spoon. These I think are great for just little doses of sugar or little doses of whatever. Makes the medicine go down, kind of thing. So it's just a little smile something that we'll put in baskets. Leah will take one home to her mom. And you can select, obviously, any kind of tea that you want. I am particularly fond of Darjeeling tea, and I love this green tea with pomegranate. So this is what I got. This is what I'm drinking right now. Yeah. This is what I'm serving at my home if somebody asks for a cup of tea. So there you go. Let's see. Now I need to double check because I need to make sure that if I'm visiting while I do that, that all the components get in there. And then
I have this little washi tape to tape them up.
Yes, that I got at the cutest little shop within walking distance. Chirps and Cheers. And they had all sorts of different kinds. In retrospect, maybe I should have gotten some with the turkey, but that's okay. And then Leah just wrote little happy things on them. So Stuart, we need to remember to take one home, for you to take one home to Susu, and you might just take a couple. Oh, and probably
he wants the
daughter
honey.
Julia.
He
daughter
wants
Julia.
the honey
Okay,
for himself.
okay, so we've already sold 3 of them to Stuart.
I got some peanut butter sandwiches with this.
That are just waiting. Well, it's just you guys come up with your own theme, come up with your own idea. I just think it's just a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to think about right now.
So fun.
We'll already be thinking about what our smile present is for December, and I don't know. It just makes me grin.
Same.
Well, what I learned this week is, or what I'm thinking about, let me put it that way, is based on something that a comment Stuart made. And he's always coming up with these kind of little things that he's been reading. And one of the things he was saying this week was that if you want to look at your life a different way, then instead of brushing your teeth first thing in the morning with your dominant hand, then brush your teeth with the other hand. And that just slightly, I don't know if it warps your worldview or it changes your worldview. How did you describe it, Stuart?
It just kind of starts you off in a different place, and it gets you out of your rhythm in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
And so I thought about that, and I did it. And then it also reminded me of something that my mom used to say, and she said, when I need to really change my whole point of view, I move the coffee pot from one side of the kitchen to the other side of the kitchen. Something that, again, breaks up the rhythm, the routine, the system that you have been engaged in for a period of time. And I think that's one of the reasons it has been so invigorating for me to move to the cottage, because everything is mixed up. I've got so many different beautiful walks I can take. It's hard for me to decide which direction I want to go, up and down which street. And yesterday I was getting in my 10,000 steps and doing kind of a post-Halloween walk. It was towards the end of the day, and I walked further to the east down a street that I normally do. And as I walked further east, I noticed that the houses got a little less grand, but they were the cutest little bungalows. And bungalows that would look just like from a novel, where they were positioned right next to the train tracks or something. And just as I was thinking that, a train went by. So it was this wonderful experience where I was just jettisoned back to the 1930s. Here's this cute little 1930s house with a train and a whistle in the background, and the light was just so, and it really made me look at everything in a completely different way. And it informed me that whenever possible, I need to break up that rhythm and do things in a different way, walk in a different direction, or walk further, or walk at a different time of day. And that's true of pretty much, everything in our lives. Sit in a different chair than you normally sit in. Yeah. And I think it just mixes things up a little bit.
Well, if you're feeling like rutty, right? If you're kind of in a rut.
Yeah, if you feel like you're in a rut, these are just little things that you can do to get yourself out of a rut and help you look at your life in a different way and through a different lens. So goes the wisdom of Stuart. Well, we have 2 outfits of the day inspired by our color of the month, which is
burgundy,
and every iteration of that. And I was also kind of inspired by some things that I just found in my closet. Mm-hmm. And my point of inspiration for all of this that we're going to reveal here is this wonderful scarf. Now, believe it or not, you guys, I made this.
I cannot believe it.
I know, I know. And I really want to get back and start knitting again. I found this fabulous thread or yarn or whatever it's called in New Orleans, and a friend of mine and I, we both made this kind of scarf, and it's so fun, and it really dresses things up. But what I love is the color palette of it really speaks to like what I have on, but it also speaks to what you have on. So it's the perfect accessory to pull together this more wine Merlot kind of hue for the month, and this kind of more of a rusty red, because I think it all kind of makes it all very cohesive. It makes all of these different gradations of this hue. Tone on tone. I'm a girl that loves a monochromatic look. Yes. Okay, so start out with your outfit.
Okay, well, this is your sweater.
It's actually, yes.
Linda's packing, and so she just got new suitcases, and we're talking about packing capsule wardrobes where you're wearing similar color tones so that everything goes together.
And it makes it easier, and sometimes it's just fun to do this kind of thing with a friend.
Yes. So true. We're just playing.
So we've just had fun playing.
And pulling out all the reds. Yes. So love this chunky sweater. These are my jeans that I wore here.
And this, by the way, it came from Altered State many years ago. Okay.
I thrifted these jeans when I was in LA, so
cute.
That was fun. I have a cute beanie. I love a red beanie. You know I love a pop of color.
Yes.
And you will see me in a red beanie often.
Yes. Now you have a different red beanie. This, I have to give a shout out to my friend Deborah. She brought these back to me as a gift when she went to, and now I can't remember, was she in Scotland? Oh. No, she was in Scandinavia. She was in Scandinavia. Yes.
Yeah, they feel like nice.
And
wool.
I love
Deborah.
Yes, I love their color. Okay,
and everyone loves this bag every time we pull it out of the closet, which I think would be a great airplane bag. I think I could fit my laptop in here.
You can.
Yeah, I would like that.
Or definitely your iPad. Okay, and your darling belt.
This I thrifted somewhere in Phoenix or something.
In Phoenix? Yeah. So, okay. Well, I think it's absolutely adorable.
And I have boots out there. I don't have my boots on.
Booties. Well, it's absolutely adorable. Okay, so now for my tone-on-tone ensemble. The top I bought online. The breeches I bought online. And let me tell you, these are so comfortable.
That's so nice.
And I think that they look good with this kind of sleek, more form-fitting look, but they also look great with a great big oversized sweater. They look great with that sweater and the hat. And my loafers, these are Lucky Brand. These are new, and they're so comfortable for the walking life. And my belt, I've just had forever. Don't remember where I got it. Now, speaking of tone on tone, the same place I got these, I got this great jacket.
Love it.
Because, isn't it great? I think it looks so sophisticated. Yes. I think if you want to look like you're rich when you're not, then do tone on tone, because I think it really elevates the look. Yep. And then I could put on some heels and it would look a lot fancier, I think. And then if I wanted to accessorize it, I could accessorize it with this, with this scarf.
Love it.
Yes. And the other nice thing about this is it's kind of a sweater jacket.
It is very nice.
And it's like so comfy. And the other thing I like about it is often I'm cold, I'm always cold in other people's houses. So you could wear this and it looks like part of your outfit and not like your hostess needs to turn up the heat just for you because you're cold. It looks
also
like
on the airplane when you're sitting there freezing.
Oh yeah, if you're on an airplane, this would be absolutely wonderful. And then you guys have seen this before. This is my Teddy Blake bag. So you can see how if I wore it with heels, it would really, and maybe some different bling, it would really elevate. It would really elevate the look for going out. Now, because I am, what did you call this dressing? Capsule wardrobe. Capsule wardrobe.
Traveling
yes,
with a
capsule wardrobe. Okay. Isn't this just perfect?
I love it.
So when I go to, I'm actually going to a wedding and I want it to be very comfy, cozy. I love this dress. Why do I love it? Because it's comfortable and it has pockets.
Of course.
And it has pockets. So you can see how fancy I can make it look, because something that kind of looks like a boa always makes things look more elegant.
True.
And then I can wear this wrap over it instead of just, you know, throwing on your regular winter coat or
You
wherever.
could belt the wrap
Yes,
over it.
I can belt
You
it.
could not
And
belt
actually, what I think I'm going to do, now this is a fun idea. This is something my friend Jenny would do. Okay, she would do it like this, and she'd kind of gather it right here, and then she would use a brooch, like a gold brooch right there to secure it, and that would really, I think, look.
It almost looks like a suit, like a blazer.
Yeah, it almost looks like a blazer. It kind of reads that way. So some of this stuff was new, but some of it was stuff that was just in my closet, and I think it's just all fun, and it's very seasonal, and it's very burgundy / brick red / Merlot. Well, and here you go. Here's your outfit du jour. A lot of my gardening ensemble, gardening favorites. My Ray-Bans. I got them off of eBay. A good place to look for Ray-Ban sunglasses. These, a lot of you sometimes say, oh, I've never seen you in the same thing twice. Well, I know you have seen me in these multiple times. I bought these online. They are so comfortable and I love them, as is this is just an Amazon Essentials white t-shirt, you guys. Let's see, what else do I have to show? Oh, I finally got my watch band. I know! It takes a village, doesn't it? But I finally got my Amazon watch band.
That's cool.
Yeah, I had to take out about 1 million links to get it to fit. And then I've got on some of my favorite high C boots, slip in, slip out. These are my backdoor pair. And then who would I be if I didn't have my favorite gloves, my favorite cool green gloves? We need to give more of these away, Leah. We need to give some away. So we will do that. And we also need to schedule our next live.